Hi, I'm Ian Taylor. You're watching The Villa View. Up the Villa.
Hello and welcome back to The Villa View for a match preview ahead of Aston Villa's game against Derby County tomorrow afternoon, Dan. Huge game. What can we expect?
I'm hoping that we can expect something better than what we've been getting served up over the last few weeks. I mean, I don't think Derby are on the best of form at the moment, but even if you're on a horrific, awful run of form, it's going to be better than the run we're on. We've said this a few times recently, it's simply must win. Aston Villa's got to start winning football matches, otherwise Aston Villa's going to find themselves in League One. It's got to start on Saturday and it's got to continue into Tuesday. We need to get as far away from that bottom three as we can and start building some momentum so that we have something to build on for next season. Well,
Derby, as you touched on, haven't been on a great run of form. Spoke to my lecturer today, who is a Burton Albion fan. Obviously, Burton Albion played Derby in midweek, and he said that Derby got a lot of injuries at the moment, and he pointed out that we should beat Derby based on the way Derby played the other night, and apparently they're awful. In his own words, they were awful. We need to get a result soon. The next three games are pivotal. Derby County, followed by a midweek game against Bristol City. Following weekend, we've got Rotherham United. If we can get a minimum of 6 points from there, we're going to go on the upturn. But really, if we beat Derby, that's a huge moralising thing in terms of motivating the players, because of obviously Derby being a team that you'd be looking at towards the top of the table like Villa should be.
I mean, to be honest, I think if I was offered 5 points at the moment from the three games, I think I'd possibly take it, because at least it's some kind of points on the board and headed in the right direction. We should be taking, I'd say, 7 points from these three games. Arguably, we should take 9 points. We're Aston Villa, but Aston Villa at the moment aren't doing great. So any kind of positive momentum we can build is crucial at the moment, because otherwise we are in massive doo-doo.
But there's going to be an old player going to haunt us again, Darren Bent. And I wish him all the best of luck. I've never had anything against him, and I hope he gets a good reception tomorrow, in fairness to him.
I can't see why he'd get a bad reception, because he never disrespected the club. He wanted to play at Villa. Lambert, for whatever reason, didn't really want to give him a go when he came in. Lambert disrespected Darren Bent quite a lot when he first came in giving him the armband and then taking it off him 3 games later or whatever it was, and then refusing to really use him as a starter, even though we were struggling. I mean, you could obviously point at the fact that Lambert was right, because Benteke came in and did what he did, but there was definitely a place for Darren Bent in that squad, and I bear no ill towards him. I mean, he kept us up almost single-handedly under Gerard Houllier. Without his goals, we would have gone that year, I think, to be fair. So he only has good wishes from me, and he'll certainly get a polite applause from me. And I think he's the kind of person, if he does score against us, which I expect him to, I don't think he'd celebrate.
No, obviously, Dan, Will Hughes is going to be a star man for them. They're going to be missing Craig Bryce in the midfield and Johnny Russell, who are obviously 2 key players for them as well. But to me, the man that makes everything tick for them is Will Hughes, and I'm surprised he's still there, because he is a real natural talent.
I mean, yeah, people say there's no loyalty in football, and obviously he's been a hot prospect now for a number of years. I mean, I think injuries have probably played their part in why he is still there. But at this level, he's a very good footballer, and he's someone we need to be aware of. But I'd expect with the midfield three we have, to be able to shackle him and him not be too dangerous. But as we've seen, things don't always go the way they're planned at the moment for us.
What are we expecting Villa lineup wise?
I think we've agreed on a lineup for the first time. So I think if Johnston will obviously carry on in goal. He actually, I think the other night, if anything, did him good, because he made a few saves. So hopefully his confidence will be a bit higher than it was before. I think you'll have Brie and Taylor at full-back. I'd expect Baker to come back in for Elphick alongside Chester, Jedinak, Lansbury and Hourahan in midfield, and then I think it will be a Doma and Bjarnason on the flanks with Codger on his own up top. I think that's the team we should go for as well. That's probably the team I'd pick. You could argue whether Grealish should be in there, but I don't think Bruce will pick him tomorrow. So yeah, I think that's the team we'll go for, and I think that should be a winning team. I think that team's got a nice balance to it, if you ask me. I don't know what you think.
I think it's well balanced. I think Bree's the key one for me, getting him back in. I instantly think when we've got Hudson in the team, I'm not being scapegoat here. I genuinely do think it knocks the confidence in that defence, because he is a liability at times, and it leaves players like James Chester wondering when or not they've got to cover, because Alan Hutton's miles away in central midfield or wherever. And I think genuinely, by having James Reid, there's a bit more confidence in the rest of the defence because they know they don't have to cover for the wandering man that is Alan Hutton.
I think everyone knows that me and Alan Hutton aren't best friends. But I actually thought he was okay the other night against Newcastle. I actually thought he was one of our, one of our better players, which you won't hear me say too often. But his time's been and gone. I mean, I'm not sure if his time was ever there, but it's definitely gone, and it's time now for James Reid to come in and have a run in the side at right back, hopefully get himself fit and become a key player for us in the short and the long term.
Jonathan Codger obviously came off with that injury. We hope that he can be at his full firing strengths or what, because we're going to rely on him now. Scott Hogan's out for 4 to 5 weeks. It's going to be tough, and obviously Jedinak's going to be a key man in plugging the gap in midfield. But to me, going forward, we need Horan to be in the correct position, because if he's in that correct position, Codger could have a field day up front.
I think it's coming down now. So I mean, obviously Horan's played on the right hand side, but I think it's coming down to a lack of confidence. The more you don't win football matches, the further your confidence falls. And I think there's some players in the Aston Villa 11 at the moment whose confidence is absolutely on the floor. I mean, I think even James Chester, who's had a very good season for us, all things considered, I think even he's looking a shadow of his former self at the moment. So it's obviously what's going on at the moment is taking its toll on the players, and you can see they're downbeat, and you can see that tactically we're not brilliant at the moment. I think Bruce just needs to take the shackles off for this game. I think if he takes the shackles off, you'll see a better performance of Villa. You'll free the players up a bit, and that team that we've said we think it will be, that's everyone's playing pretty much in their correct position. I mean, I actually think Bjarnsson's going to come good. I've decided over the last few days that he's going to be a good player for us, because I think, although he's not been brilliant, I think he's found himself into some useful positions, and he's been unlucky not to have had a couple of goals for us already. I think the more he gets used to the Championship, the more he gets used to the country, I think he'll turn into a very useful player for us, because you can see his work rate's there for us all to see, and he's obviously got something about him with timing of his run. So I'm hoping that Saturday will be the time he comes good, and I've put him down as one of my scorers in the fan score. I can never remember what it's called. Fan score predictions. I'm the worst spokesperson for fan score ever, because I want to call it everything but the actual name.
So you can predict your 11 now on the Fanscore app. The Fanscore app is the Aston Villa app that we are using for our prediction league. And Dan is now going to tell you how you can get involved and his prediction for the game.
Well, I can tell you my prediction for the game, but I don't know how you get involved. Dan Rolinson will have to stick that on the screen. I don't know how you do it. I can't remember. But I've gone for 2-1 to Villa against my better judgment, and I'm going for Lansbury first goal, followed by Darren Bent equaliser for Derby, and then my man Bjarnsson's going to score the winner after I've decided that he's going to be a good player for us. And Fanscore needs to stop spoiling us with these extra features. Getting to pick your 11 on there as well now. Come on.
Giving us points, which is what we need, because we're in an awful vein of form in terms of our own predictions at the moment. I'm predicting a 1-1 draw, Henry Lansbury scoring for us, and Darren Bent pulling one back for Derby County.
I tell you what, you need to start using your imagination, because
I'm not using my imagination here.
Just pick the same scorers as me every week.
Well, you're picking the same ones as me. Henry Lansbury is bound to be in a good position to score against his old rivals, and then Darren Bent is bound to score because it's against his old club. You're putting 2 and 2 together. It's that simple. But this is a good place to leave the preview, because we're in a fairly good mood ahead of a game, and I don't know why.
No, not me. When you say he's bound to find himself in the positions, what games have you been watching? He's not bound to find himself anywhere, except for on the goal line, letting the ball roll in.
To be fair, against Barnsley, he had a few good chances, and I'm sure Dan, off the cameraman, can prove that.
He's too busy laughing at your tantrum that you just had.
Not a tantrum, I'm just saying. So currently top of the prediction league is Cam, still. You're in 97th place, Dan.
Top 100, that's what we all wanted before the start of the season.
426.
Yeah.
Dan Rolinson, off the camera, named as the Villa View, is 419 points. Are you ready for this?
Oh, here we go.
Matt Lynch has 215 points, 160th.
Well, I can see why you're copying my predictions. Sat down there.
I must have not submitted for one of the games. For the Newcastle game, I forgot to submit anything.
Well, you're supposed to be the Villa View expert, so look at what you've done.
So that's our predictions. Make sure you're getting your predictions in as well. Make sure you are liking this video and commenting what you think the result will be tomorrow afternoon at Villa Park. Come down to fan cams at full times. Come and tell us your view on the game and what you thought about it. We're going to be in our usual place, so come and do that. We have got lots of great things upcoming in the next week or so. The Villa View website is edging ever closer. It's only a few days away now, and I must say it looks absolutely stunning, and it's going to be brilliant. There's going to be so many great articles on there. There's going to be great content on there. And also, for a Brucey bonus, the Ian Taylor video will be out on the same day as the website is. What more can you want from the Villa View? Make sure you are subscribing to the Villa View, your post notifications on.
If you enjoyed that video, why not watch another? Click the video choices on screen now to go and watch them in full. Be sure to subscribe to the channel by clicking our logo there on the left. Easy peasy.